So many people are so afraid of being happy. They think if they become too happy, it will mean giving up on achieving more. It means being vulnerable to ego. It means looking down on people who haven't achieved something. Let me tell you something. No one cares about how happy you are. If you downplay on your achievements and try to baseline your happiness every time you achieve something, you will never be truly happy. People who constantly increase their baseline level of happiness are more emotionally stable. And when something unexpected happens, they simply return to a slightly lower level of happiness, just below their baseline. Think of the level of happiness you can achieve as a tank. If your happiness level starts at the bottom of that tank, then whenever you need a little of it, in times of crisis, you simply cannot, because you never filled it to a sufficient level. People who have it filled to at least 40% can and will demand some of it when it comes to really needing some of it. Allow yourself to feel happy. Be proud of your achievements. Be thankful to everyone who helped you achieve them, and practice gratitude. But at the same time, don't let your ego take control. Don't let your success get to your head, and stay grounded. You are often surrounded by fears, anxiety, and tension. And the most common reason people come up with is that this is how I am. Well, that's not who you are. You were not born to feel anxious and fearful of events. Be brave in the face of your enemies. And our enemies are not gladiators fighting on high horses. It's your procrastination, it's your laziness, it's your reasons to not wake up early. It's you fighting your old self. Nothing can be a part of you until you decide to make it so. At least anxiety, fear, and procrastination. Stop worrying about what other people think about you. Even if you sit in a corner saying nothing, they will still talk about you. Constantly worrying about the worst possible scenario, the worst things people can say about you, puts you directly in their control. You have now successfully shifted your focus from your goal to what others want you to feel, anxious and fearful about how you project yourself to the world. It's a small life that we are given. Let's do what we actually want to do. Let us start feeling ourselves and stop numbing ourselves to our own feeling. Because once you start to numb yourself to how your system reacts, you encourage a buildup in your heart and mind, which oftentimes gets overflowed very easily by something very small and minute. It's your life. Take the steering wheel and drive wherever you want. I can call the next story My Forest. I sat up in my bed, my heart pounding in my chest and a startled scream escaping my lips. I was a teenage boy and had been sleeping deeply a few seconds ago. The gentle rain that was falling when I went to sleep, however, had turned into a savage storm while I dreamed. The lightning strike that had just hit felt like it was right outside my window. It took me a long time to fall back asleep again. The next day I walked out to a small spring about 50 yards from our home and saw where it had hit. It had wrapped itself around an oak tree, stripping off the bark and splitting the trunk. I felt bad for the tree, knowing that it was done for. The next year, though, I noticed that the tree hadn't died. In fact, it had fresh, new, green leaves growing on it, and the burnt bark was starting to grow back too. I was amazed at the resilience of this tree and couldn't believe that it had survived such damage. Recently, I was reading something that shed fresh light about that tree. It was a scientific study that showed that the forest floor is all interconnected. When one tree is damaged, the other trees will share their own nutrients to keep it alive and growing through their root system. Reading this made me smile. I felt a renewed appreciation for the earth and all of God's glorious creation. And I thanked God for this beautiful world we all live in. Looking back at my own life, I see that I have taken quite a few lightning strikes as well. Yet, through them all, I have felt the love of those around me. I doubt the strongest tree could survive what each of us goes through in this life. Thankfully, we aren't alone. We are a part of a loving forest. And when one of us gets hurt, others are always there to help us heal. We aren't meant to stand alone. God wants us to be a part of a greater whole, one created in love. In life, we all face our own storms and take our share of lightning strikes. Just like the resilient oak tree that survived against all odds, we too have the strength to overcome our challenges. But the true beauty of life lies in the connections we share with others. Those who nourish us, support us, and help us grow even when we feel broken. Remember, happiness is not something to be feared or downplayed. It's a vital part of our emotional stability and growth. Embrace your achievements, stay grounded, and be grateful for the love that surrounds you. Just as the forest sustains its wounded, we are all part of a greater, loving whole. Together, we can weather any storm and continue to thrive. Life is short. Take control, embrace your happiness, and cherish the interconnectedness that makes us all stronger.